Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. I am tired of taking L's. First, my Kansas City Chiefs gets washed in the Super Bowl. Now Kendrick Lamar has the most viewed Super Bowl halftime show of all times. 2025. What's up, man? Y'all know how I get down already. I never hesitate to drag somebody when they deserve to be dragged. Yes, even if you are a search engine. Google, you are wanted in out loud court. You're about to be dragged. Kanye West has been telling us for months how independent he is and that he cannot be stopped. Come to find out today, Yeezy.com was hosted by Spotify and they have taken his site down. Kanye, you've had a bunch of L's, my dude. This is embarrassing. Maybe the most embarrassing yet. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, hump day is finally here. What up, Wednesday? I'm in a good mood. Y'all know why, man. The weekend is only 2 days away. I'm starting to really like hump day. All right, I have a good show set up for you guys today. I have 3 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about Google removing Black History Month and Women History Month from their calendars. I have decided to change yesterday's episode title from Kendrick Lamar was trash to Kendrick Lamar review, and I'll explain why. And Donald Trump says that he wants everybody home by Saturday or it's about to go down. In quick news, we're going to talk about Serena Williams, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, the World Cup, Blueface, Marlon Wayne Soulja Boy, Jalen Hurts, Jermaine Dupri, Luigi, and Chris Brown. As always, we're going to close out the show with social discussion, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this Wednesday show. Let's go. Our first lead story. Google Calendar removes cultural events like Pride and Black History Month. Before I even get into this article, I just want to let you guys know that I fact-checked this. I researched this because last time I told you guys about Trump doing something for Black History Month, you told me that it was not true. So here is another article. This one is from CNBC, all right? So check that off. This is fact-checked, Googled, like I always do, but I just don't always show you guys. So second headline, Google Calendar no longer includes start of Black History Month and Pride Month. Google's popular online and mobile calendar no longer includes references for the first day of Black History Month or Women's History Month, among other holidays and events. The company's calendar previously had those days marked at the start of February and March respectively, but they don't appear for 2025. The Verge first reported on the removals from Google Calendar late last week, which followed comments from users. A Google spokesperson said the changes took place in the middle of last year. Some years ago, the calendar team started manually adding a broader set of cultural moments in a wide number of countries around the world, the spokesperson said in an email. We got feedback that some other events and countries were missing, and maintaining hundreds of moments manually and consistently globally wasn't scalable or sustainable, the spokesperson added. Google has made numerous changes lately that aligned with an altered political environment in the US. The company recently began scrapping its diversity hiring goals, becoming the latest tech giant to change its approach to hiring and promotions following the election of President Donald Trump. One of Trump's first acts as president after taking office in January was to sign an executive order ending the government's DEI programs and putting federal officials overseeing those initiatives on leave. On Google Calendar, the company has removed other events as well. It previously had November the 1st as the first day of Indigenous People Month and June 1st as the start of LGBTQ plus Pride Month. The company spokesman said that in the middle of 2024, the company returned to showing only public holidays and national observances from timeanddate.com globally, while allowing users to manually add other important moments. The Time and Date company website says its company has 40 employees and is based in Norway. Google Calendar users noticed the changes and left comments in the user support webpage and on social media. The user support site previously received comments from people upset about the company adding such observances. All right, I have so much to say about this. It's ridiculous. I'm going to try to like laser focus it on because I have talked a lot about DEI for the past, 2 weeks, it seems like, I guess pretty much since Trump has been in office. And I just really want to laser focus on this, okay? One, Google saying that it's too much to keep up. Yo, there's like Lobster Day, Apple Day, National Potato Day, National this day or whatever. And you mean to tell me that you cannot, it's too hard for you to keep up Black History Month and Women's History Month and Pride Month? Like, we're talking about Google. We're not talking about, some little dinky thing. We're talking about Google, the biggest search engine in the world. Man, I could look on Google Maps and I could see places and pictures and video in Jamaica, in the little smallest country, tiny island where my mom's side of the family is. And like, they don't even have a post office there. They don't have nothing. And Google can have a picture and I can see, but you tell me you cannot keep up with Black History Month and some holidays? Like, what are you talking about? And this is what I want to focus on. If you're going to do something, say it with your chest. Sorry, if you're going to say something, say it with your chest. Say, yo, we want to side with Donald Trump. We want to scrap all this DEI stuff. We don't want to follow all of these months, and done it. Just come out and say it. Trump has said it. A bunch of people have said it. It's a new day and age. Like, say whatever you want. Now, and then let us who don't like it say whatever we want, but don't come out like how the NFL was doing. And I dragged them, I think it was yesterday or on Friday's show, saying, we would like to keep diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's been so amazing for this. We want to support women. We want to support this. We want to support that. But we're going to take end racism out the end zone. The first game that Donald Trump comes and sits down at, the first sitting president. Like, yo, just look, don't treat us like we don't know what's going on. Say it with your chest and then just accept what's going to come after that. Like, that's my biggest point, and it's my biggest takeaway. Of course, I don't like it. Of course, I would like all of those observances to stay. Even the things that doesn't automatically reflect me as a Black person. Of course, I feel more connected to Black History Month. I'm not Indigenous, but I could just imagine how an Indigenous person feels when it's Indigenous Month, or a woman. I'm not a woman, so I can't relate to things, but I'm sure Women's History Month means a lot and everything to all women. And like I have been saying for the past 2 weeks, I am so tired of people thinking that DEI is only about Black and brown people or about minorities. DEI is about the inclusion of the people who are not included from the past hundreds of years, okay? Women, Black people, Indigenous people, LGBTQ, disabled people. A lot of people miss that. We don't care about the disabled people. Like, this is just like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to get back into it. Especially for my daily listeners, you know how I feel about DEI. And you guys can go back and check other, podcasts that have DEI in the title, and you'll hear me break it down. We did a deep dive into it. Like, I researched it, definitions, and I went back and I proved that it's just not for Black people or minority people, and it's just about an inclusion and having a fair space for everybody. And I'll also end on this, just for the new viewers that are here. I understand the Republican side. I understand Donald Trump's side. I understand the people who don't like DEI. And I can even articulate their points, even though I don't agree with it, but I can articulate their points that they feel like there's some companies that, because they have DEI goals and targets, that sometimes they're like, wow, we're not reaching our targets, so we're going to take some people that don't have this, are not merited to be in that position, but we're going to take it just to fill the quota. And I don't agree with that either. And I agree with Trump that it should be merit first. And then, this is what I don't agree, is once you have the merit there, then you could say, hey, instead of having 10 white guys in all our C-level positions, let's find a white woman that has the same merit base, but then can fill up that slot. Then let's find a Black man, a Black woman, LGBTQ, disabled, Indigenous, but et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then out of the 10 people, you have something that is a makeup that is more reflective of America, because America is diverse. Okay. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Like I said, we are in 2025. The Republicans have the House, they have the Senate, they have the Supreme Court, they have the White House. You could get by easily by saying what you believe in, and I actually like that. Like I told you guys a bunch of times, I applaud Donald Trump for changing the what's the word I used? I got it actually from Charlemagne. Change the language of politics. It's no longer like going over your head. It's no longer like, beating around the bush. You say what you want and then you fight for what you want, and you either win or you lose. And it's up to us. And that's why I talk about DEI so much, for us collectively, everybody that DEI helped. It's up to us to fight back and get DEI back into these places and, make it more efficient and make it work. And so it doesn't have those inconsistencies where some people end up not having the right merits to be in the position. I think it needs to be fixed instead of to be scrapped. Just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second lead story. I have changed yesterday's episode title from Kendrick Lamar was trash to Kendrick Lamar review, and I want to explain why. All right, so yesterday's podcast, I talked about Kendrick Lamar, and I made the title, Kendrick Lamar was trash. I feel like a lot of people jumped in the comment section and didn't actually listen to the segment of the review, and they just went to the title. So since I've changed it, I've been getting different comments because now the title is review. So you click on it and then you listen to the entire thing, and then you're like, oh, that's why you didn't like it. So I wanted to start off this segment with explaining that to you guys, especially for my daily listeners who's going to see the change. So that's one. And two, I really wanted to talk about this again because I feel like there's some things that maybe I didn't explain well enough, and I'll take that on me. That's fine. But from the comments that I've read, I want to address something seriously. And I think it's beyond the Kendrick and Drake beef that we joke around about. And I think there's a conversation that needs to be had between Black people from around the world, not just Black Americans and Black Canadians. So if you guys would just give me 5 minutes, I would just like to explain more in depth what I was trying to say yesterday. And I want to address some people in the comment section. Okay. So the first thing I want to start with, and you know me, I wrote them down so I don't forget anything. The first thing I want to say is I'm tired of hearing that we don't get Kendrick's message. I got the message. I understood it all. I saw 2 or 3 things online. I got it when I was watching it. I'll admit there's some things I didn't get that I picked up online, and that's what is amazing about Kendrick. In the episode, and this is what I think people miss all the time, is I said, I don't understand how he keeps coming up with these Easter eggs, how he keeps coming up with these subliminal things that we find out after the PlayStation control and this. And I said that it was brilliant. I get it. However, I just feel like he can get a message across and also put on an amazing performance. I feel like you could do both. I feel like Beyonce did that at her Super Bowl halftime performance. It was very Black, but I feel like she had a great performance and she got out a great message. And that's what I feel like you guys are missing. Because if you guys go and look at the comment section, it's like, oh, he doesn't get it. And I feel you guys just rush to be like, well, we get it and you don't. So that must be why you don't like it. And that's what bothers me. And please go back and listen to it. I started off by saying all the things that I liked. Okay. And I'm going to highlight them. So I just feel like you can do both, have a great performance and get a message across. Kendrick's set list wasn't great. He could have pulled off the exact same message, but had a better set list. It's the Super Bowl. Please stop saying that people don't like it just because they don't get it or they're not like us, because that's not fair. You guys know me already. I am always open. My entire podcast is to be open and to see things and understand things from both sides. And you know what? I guess I shouldn't blame people who don't want to see things from from different sides. But how could you want to go through life never hearing what somebody else has to say? Like, you really want to go through life like that? And I understand not everybody has to be independent. You might want to be a Republican. You might want to be a Democrat. But like, I just don't understand how you cannot want to see what somebody else thinks and just say, no, I don't agree with you, but I see what you're saying, you know, or rush to be like, no, you just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have friends that are Donald Trump supporters. I have friends that are Kamala Harris supporters. I have friends that don't like either or. Like, I just feel like it's so limiting. I feel like you're limiting yourself and keeping yourself in a shell. And I just feel like you guys, if you take anything away, that's what I'm trying to say. This is a little bit bigger than Kendrick and Drake to me. And I just think that you're limiting yourself, not seeing anybody else's view, and or just rushing and saying, nah, you don't get it, so forget you. You know what I mean? And one thing I do want to add, I don't even have this written down, but I shouldn't even have to tell you guys this, but yo, I have mad love for Kendrick Lamar. He is not my favorite artist. I don't have a bunch of Kendrick Lamar albums. He's not all up in my playlist, but I have the ultimate amount of respect for him. I understand what he's trying to do. I have always respected Kendrick Lamar. This back and forth Drake and Kendrick thing has never been that serious for me. Any of my daily listeners, and or if you're new, you could go back. I've always talked about this beef in a lighthearted, joking way. I've always said, yo, I'm Canadian, I gotta back my boy, but this is tough. Or, you know what I'm saying? I've always taken, it's not that serious to me. So I just want to highlight that even though I've known Drake before he was big in Toronto, when I was acting and I was there in the beginning of his career, we shared the same video directors. Like, we know the same people. We come from the same area. Well, I'm from Montreal. He's from Toronto, but Drake's first concert ever in his life was in Montreal. So I have a different perspective of Drake than anybody, well, not anybody, but for the people who just see him as Drake, I see him as a person because I know him. And I've always said that to you guys. And I've always said, yo, I'm mad biased because not only does he make music that speaks to me, it's very Jamaican influence. It's very West Indian, Caribbean influence. And he has a lot of R&B influence, which is my first love. I've told you guys all the time, my first love, my favorite genre of music is R&B. Brian McKnight is one of my favorite artists ever of all times. Alicia Keys, Jodeci, Drew Hill, like that 90s era R&B. I made t-shirts when I had my store saying, if this relationship doesn't feel like 90s R&B, I don't want it. I'm an R&B head. Then I like reggae, and then I like hip hop. That's why Kendrick doesn't speak to me. I'm not a hip hop head, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up in a Jamaican household. R&B, you know what I'm saying? Lovers rock, dance hall, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my type of music. So Drake speaks to me. Having said all of that, it's not that serious, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have mad respect for Kendrick just because I have so much respect for the culture. So just want to say that. Now, second thing, I don't know why I make these notes because I go off on tangents anyways. But like I said, really important. And please stick with me because I want to talk about Black people as a whole. And I feel like some of these comments yesterday were divisive. And I really don't like when us as a culture and a people are divisive. And we have to think about Black people, not as American Black people or Canadian Black people or European Black people. We're all Black people and we're all from the same struggle. We're all from Africa, bro, and girls. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, just let me get to there. I'm always jumping around. Sorry. So my second point is, why does it have to be because I am Canadian that I don't get it? Black people deal with the same exact struggles everywhere in the world. Google the transatlantic SLAVE trade. All right. We're just going to say the S word. Okay. If I say that word, it won't get flagged, but it might get suppressed the video. Okay. So I will just give you guys two things that I brought up here about that time, the S time. And I want to remind you guys something. Yes, I'm Canadian, but I'm also Jamaican. Both of my parents are Jamaican, born and raised in Jamaica. Went to Jamaica every year. I am first Jamaican. I don't even speak French that well, and I'm from Montreal. Okay, what I mean? And for those of you who don't know, Montreal is a French province. Okay, so I feel like a lot of Americans, or some of the Americans that were commenting in my comment section, were like, yo, you don't get it. You don't get what we've been through. All Black people have been through that. Do you know that Jamaica or Jamaicans was used by the British for the SLAVE? They didn't want to have it on their territory, so they brought us from Ghana and Nigeria. They say 85 or 90% of Jamaicans are from Ghana or Nigeria. That's where the boats came in, and they brought them to Jamaica. So the British trade was, we don't want this in our country. Bring them down to the West Indies, have them do all that out there, and send the money back up to us. So it is different because the Americans did it on the land, more in the South, but we all come from the same struggle, okay? We all come from Africa and have to deal with this. And I have something else in Canada for you here, but let me just read to you here. So the plantation system relied heavily on SLAVE labor, and the islands imported almost 1 million captive Africans in total. The colony saw a significant amount of SLAVE unrest in the 18 and 1900s. This is in Jamaica, okay? The rebels and imperial forces fought the first Maroons in the late 1730s and the second Maroons in 1719, all right? So that's the Jamaican history. And my family, my cousin did the ancestral DNA or whatever. We come from the Maroon tribe, my mother's side. So I have Maroon in me. And those are the rebels that fought against the British soldiers. And that's how we got out. Well, not really got out, but that's, we're the first ones to fight it off. All right. So that's a little bit of Jamaican. And in Canada, was Canada directly involved in the transatlantic SLAVE trade? And did they receive SLAVE from American colonies? Yes, they weren't brought up directly on the boats, but they came in from the American colonies. So Canada also had SLAVE as well too, okay? So Canada was infected, Jamaica was infected, the West Indies infected. I need all my Americans to understand that this is a problem with all Black people, and it's just not an American thing. You could do your own, oh gosh, I can't even get back in my phone now. You could do your own research on that, okay? So my third thing is, and this is just a little bit of a joke, I guess, but for a group of people that are such Kendrick fans that says they research and never miss anything and pick up on all these Easter eggs, how did you not miss all the things that I said yesterday? I started off my review, because we're calling it now a review, by saying I thought the A Chain was amazing. I thought it was super smart. We caught it right away. I said Serena was amazing. I said Samuel Jackson was brilliant. And I even broke it down. I understand Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam. And he was, what I said exactly was, it was almost like Eminem, how he, when his battle in 8 Mile, where he's like, I know what you're going to say. So before you say it, I'm going to say it for you. So Kendrick was like, I'm going to have Samuel Jackson be like the Uncle Sam. And that's what the people are going to say. Why are you performing this song? Why are you performing that? I get it. I understand it. Trust me. And I thought it was brilliant. However, I didn't like the performance. I thought it could be a better performance. I want a message and a performance. I broke down the Michael Jackson, the Beyonce. I felt like could have had a better set list. By the way, stay tuned for quick news, because I have found an influencer that broke down the reasons why there weren't more Kendrick Lamar hits. So just stay tuned. I also said all the Easter eggs were crazy. I don't understand how he keeps coming up with them. I thought it was all dope. The police station, the prison yards, I thought it was dope. I even said his outfit was dope. I even said the bell bottoms were crazy. I actually did some research and I found the connections with the bell bottoms. But anyways, I said SZA was dope. And I ended off by saying, and this is the thing that I don't understand, how people would be like, oh, he's Canadian. He's not like us. I said, one of my favorite things is how unapologetically Black he was and his performance was, and how unapologetically hip hop he was. And people are in the comment section saying, Trent, performance doesn't always have to be about head nodding and bumping and music. It could be about a message. I understand that. I get it. I just think my opinion, which I'm allowed to, especially on my own show, I could say, I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you for the hip hop message. Thank you for standing up for hip hop. Like I told you guys, I'm like, I love that. He came out, he said, yo, I'm the first solo hip hop artist. I ain't going to come out here singing. I ain't going to come out here tap dancing. I ain't going to come out doing nothing. I'm going to represent. I was like, yo, super dope. I get it. I understand how black his show, the show was. Blackity black, black, black. I love it. I know y'all don't know like the history of me. I have 2 books. I do black conferences. I speak at Charlemagne's black mental, well, it's not black mental alliance, but it's a mental health alliance, but it's all black people on the stage. It's in New York City. You think Charlemagne is like the blackest black person you know what I'm saying? Ask him about me. My book, I talk about blackness. Like, I don't want to sit down here and try to like, be like, oh, I'm going to out black y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I don't just say it. I actually do it. I put action into it. I've given away over 1,000 copies of my books to black, brown, minority schools. I do talks at high schools where I do my best to give back to the black community. Like I said, I'm not sitting down here just commenting on things. I actually take my time, my money, and invest it back and give back. And I've told people a bunch of times the reason why I wrote my book, I think I even say this in my book, is me growing up as a black kid here in Canada. I didn't see anybody that looked like me in an entrepreneurial space. And I studied great business leaders, and all the books and business leaders that I found, I couldn't find anybody black. So I wanted to write a book so that I could be a reflection for the next black and brown minorities that are coming up that want to get into business, that they could see somebody that looks like them. That's the reason why I wrote my books. That's the reason why I give it away. So don't come at me about like, I don't understand the struggle, because I understand it and I fight back with it. I even do it on the show all the time. I just told you everything that I'm trying to do and give back and fight back for DEI. So don't come at me with that. And like I said it yesterday. However, I still did not like his performance. I feel like you can give a message. However, I feel like the performance could have been better. Lastly, I just want to end it off with this. And I feel like this is a little bit of my gripe with the song Not Like Us. And I feel like saying they not like us, and he never came out and said this, but I feel like it's indirectly being a little bit divisive to black people around the world, saying that black Americans experience something different. And if it's not Kendrick, because like I said, he never came out and said it, but I feel like that's what a lot of people say. And that's what I saw a lot in the comments. And I just would like to remind those people who think that way. And again, not saying that all people think that way. There are some. And I think they take that song and use that and be like, yo, they're not like us. They don't understand us. They don't understand American struggle. You don't understand Jamaican struggle, where my family comes from a place that had no running water, that didn't have a toilet, that didn't have a post office, that my parents had to walk 10, 15 kilometers to get somewhere. And the history of my grandmother and what she had to do to get to this country. I open my book and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know about that. So I feel as black people, and thank you for who has stuck around during this part of the show. But I want to have a quick conversation with my black people. We all go through struggle. I grew up in Montreal, and in my high school, there was 4 black kids out of, I think, 1,500. And I'm not saying things are any easier in the US, but you guys have black communities. Atlanta is one of the biggest affluent black communities. That's why as soon as I go to Atlanta, I go right to Bankhead. I stay there and I love it there. We don't have that up here in Canada. So what you feel like you're going through in the US, trust me, we're going through it up here. And it might even be worse because I didn't have people that look like me forget as teachers, but even in my class, there were sometimes I was in a grade where I was the only black kid in that entire grade. You have no idea what that it takes to go through. And I fought against that my whole life. I barely graduated high school. That gave me credits to get me out of high school. I got myself in a lot of trouble. I went to the streets. I did all that stupid crap, and I talk about it in my book, and getting arrested and getting myself in trouble. And I turned my life around. I made something of myself. For those daily listeners that you guys know, I own a sneaker boutique. I started out the trunk of my car selling long tees and do-rags. I grew it to $100 million brand. Like, that doesn't mean that I didn't go through things, and doesn't mean that I don't understand. So let's use this as a teachable moment. And I told you guys all the time, I look and I see the comments, and I totally respect Kendrick. I respect his followers, and I respect the people that love him and that will ride for him. I get it, and I respect your opinions. However, when you're giving those opinions, don't tell me or other people that we don't understand, that you understand something that we don't. And especially tell another black person that they don't understand your black struggle, because all black people face the same struggles everywhere in the world. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our third lead story. Donald Trump says all hell is going to break loose if Hamas doesn't release the hostages by noon on Saturday. Donald Trump says he wants to see the remaining hostages in Gaza returned by noon on Saturday, or, like I said in the beginning, that all hell is going to break out. All right. So here's a little clip. Take a listen.
If all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, cancel it and all bets are off, and let hell break out. Saturday at 12 o'clock. And after that, I would say all hell is going to break out.
So last week was my first time even talking about everything that's going on with Palestine and Israel and the Gaza Strip. And I asked you guys for grace with me dealing with this. I always made it a point to not talk about it, but I didn't want to feel like I was ducking it. And I said, same like crypto, when I don't know about something, I don't like to talk about something. However, I feel when something big like this is going on in the world, I have to do my part to tell you guys and let you guys know about it. So thank you for the grace. I've asked people, they're like, yes, you covered it fine on both sides. So with this, I want to try to handle it the same way and stay very neutral, because like I said, I don't understand the intricacies of each side, but I do want to know something. And like I said, I'll lean on you guys in the comment section to help me understand this. I understand that Trump wants to get the hostages back. I get that. I think every American wants the Americans back, right? And that's their right. But what I don't understand is, if all hell breaks out, like, what does that mean? And if it means what we all think it means, then what does that mean for the hostages? So like his plan with the Gaza Strip, and when I asked last week, I was like, I didn't want to get into the intricacies of it, but whatever your plans are, shouldn't your plans include the 2 million people that will be displaced? Like I said, it depends what side you're on. Not depends, but I understand if you're on one side or the other, but shouldn't everybody agree that if you're going to do something with there, if you have a plan as the U.S., you're supposed to be the intermediate, shouldn't you have a plan for the 2 million people? Most people agreed with me. So like this, if your goal is to have a ceasefire, if your goal is to get all the hostages back, if your goal is to, help deal with this situation, if all hell breaks loose, what happens to the hostages? What happens to the families of the hostages? I ask you guys, lean on you to help me with this. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Serena Williams sets the record straight about landing a spot on Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance. Explains it all traces back to her sea-walking moment in 2012. All right, Serena Williams said this: when Kendrick Lamar and his team was like, yo, we've been trying to do something with you forever. How about this? We loved your sea walking at the Olympics when you won the gold medal. I was like, the Super Bowl? Are you serious? When in the world will I ever be able to dance at the Super Bowl? Never. Let's do it. I knew my winning dance after the Olympics would pay off one day. End of story. For those of you who don't know or didn't see yesterday's episode, I'll play a little clip of Serena winning gold at the Olympics. Take a look. So like I said yesterday, this is LA culture, right? CRIP, dancing, walking is LA culture. Now, a lot of people were dragging her about what happened to her sister. And then like, why are you, you're married. Why are you doing this to get back at Drake? So I like that she just said, listen, this was about Kendrick saying, yo, we're both from Compton. LA is out here. Yes, it's New Orleans, but LA is out here. We are representing. And I want you to kind of give you a chance to get back at the people who didn't like you sea walking in London, because she got a lot of backlash for that. So, let's put this on the stage. So I like that she's doing that, and I like that she's repping where she's from. Now, and y'all know I love Serena. I will say that I find it a little bit hard to believe that in the back of her mind that she wasn't happy that she was happy that she could kind of do like a ha-ha to Drake. You know what I mean? Like, for those who don't know, her and Drake were together, and then Drake has dissed her kind of and her husband on a track. And like, Serena's not a rapper. She can't get back at Drake anyhow. You know what I mean? So anybody else that says something about Drake, she kind of always applauds it, or she'll, repost it. So yes, I'm sure she was very happy to represent LA and of course represent Kendrick, but I don't believe that she wasn't in the back of her head like, I get to be on the stage and, throw a little dirt on your name. Of course, but I don't think that was her only motive. Lastly, before we put this whole thing to bed, pretty ironic that on Kendrick Lamar's stage, the two women that he had on stage, Drake was with both of those women in a public relationship. He was publicly with SZA and publicly with Serena. I'm just saying, isn't that a little bit of like, isn't he kind of getting Kendrick back there just a little bit, like indirectly? Like, yeah, well, both of those girls, like, I actually was with both of them. Like, I don't know. Oh, man, I tell you. I'm so tired about talking about this, but whatever. Anyways, shout out to Serena. Our second quick story. Kendrick Lamar made waves with his Super Bowl halftime performance, but here we take a moment to analyze how he used it to make a real solid profit. All right, I'm going to play a little clip from this influencer that is explaining and breaking down why Kendrick Lamar didn't play his hits during the halftime show. And we'll never know because Kendrick is never going to talk about it, but it really, really makes sense about him leaving his label, those hit songs being on his label, and Kendrick Lamar performing most of his songs from GNX because it's now on his label and it's more profitable for him. We all know that the songs that you perform on Super Bowl, they skyrocket the next day on streaming services, on the radio and all of that. So anyway, listen to the influencer and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Take a listen.
Wonder why Kendrick didn't perform more of your favorite classics at the Super Bowl? I'll tell you, and it's all about the paper. In his deal with TDE, Kendrick was signed to an artist deal. Kendrick will be splitting his profits in so many ways that he would only be getting 10 to 15% on each stream. Kendrick wasn't feeling that, so he left TDE in 2022 after 17 years. Kendrick then decided to start a creative agency called PG Lang. Now here's where it gets interesting. PG Lang secured a licensing deal with Interscope. Licensing deals are better because the artist retains ownership of the music and usually gets a higher percent of the profits. I'm talking 80%. So you had 15% versus 80%. GNX is the first Kendrick Lamar album released under PG Lang, which means it's his first opportunity to really make a big bag with a little marketing dollar. If you want to know the real reason you didn't hear some of those old songs, dollars and cents.
So he goes on to break down and explains that all of Kendrick's albums, all of his biggest hits, is under Top Dog, Aftermath, Interscope. And he breaks down, I'm going to put it here beside me. He says the platinum albums, if they get 1.5 billion streams, he makes 15% off of those songs. Okay. So 15% off of 1.5 billion works out to around $2 million, which is still good, but it's $2 million. Now, off of, if he gets 1.5 billion streams, off of GNX or something that's under his label, he owns 80% of it and he'll make $30 million. So if you were Kendrick, would you say, yo, I want to perform my hits so that those songs start going up and get higher streaming numbers? Then Top Dog makes money, Interscope makes money, etc., etc. Or am I going to get on stage and I'm going to perform the songs on my new album that those are going to pick up? And I've already heard reports that Not Like Us, like I think went up like 400 and something percent. And every other song that he did on the Super Bowl stage has gone up 200 or 300%. And they're already high up because they're new. So this looks like it was a move more to promote his new album and to bring up his streaming numbers and to make more money. I don't know how that makes you guys feel who are like the Kendrick Lamar, heads out there that are like, yo, he did this for the culture, did this for whatever. And I'm not saying this is 100% true because, like I said, we'll never know. But it does make sense. It does make sense, right? Like everybody, and I played yesterday, like everybody was like, where are the hits? Now, did he not play the hits because he wanted to only focus on the message? Or did he not want to play the hits because he makes more money promoting his new album that's on his own label and not making Top Dog as much money, or Dre or Interscope as much money? I'll leave it to you guys and let me know what you think. Our third quick story. Kanye West Yeezy.com web store gets shut down by Spotify. I cannot believe this. Like, nothing shocks me. I am shocked. Following Ye's hateful statements via X, posting anti-Semitic merchandise towards the Jewish community, and his Super Bowl halftime commercial directing his audience to visit Yeezy.com, Spotify has shut down the domain, stating this merchandise does not engage in authentic commercial practices and violates our terms, so we remove them from Shopify. This merchant did not engage in authentic commercial practices. Kanye, how could you be doing this while using Spotify's platform? You have for the past month or 2 months have been, I can't believe this. The one thing I said about Kanye, as many times I've dragged him, I was like, yo, he's independent. He's doing everything on his own. I have to take my hat off to that. Your website was on Spotify, bro? Are you you're a billionaire. You just told us you're worth $2.77 billion. Why are you on Shopify when they could just turn it off? You don't own that. Yes, you own Yeezy.com. You own the website. For sure you own that. But you don't own the platform that you were selling clothing on, and you put up those t-shirts, which we're not even going to put up. I'm even putting up those pictures. You're going to sell that on a site that you don't own? Are you crazy? I cannot believe this, man. I cannot believe this. You are running Yeezy.com on Shopify. That's like saying like, yo, Nike is running their website off of Shopify or Adidas. Like, you're out here telling us, I don't need Nike. I don't need Adidas. I don't need this. I'm doing all of my stuff or whatever, Bob. I'm doing stuff on my own. And you're on. Anyways, for those of you who don't know Spotify is the leading web platform in the world, okay? They are huge. I had my store on Shopify. A lot of people have their store on Shopify. It is the best platform. However, if you're somebody like Kanye West, who your whole point is to say, I'm doing my own thing and nobody can stop me. Like, you cannot stop me. I will say whatever I want on Twitter because Elon said, I'm buying Twitter for people to say whatever they want. And for you to go out and say, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm a billionaire. I am this. I am that. I'm independent. You cannot stop me. And then you put your stuff on Spotify? And this is where he makes all his money. He puts his podcast, he puts everything on that hub, and it's shut down. Kanye has done a lot of things. This, to me, has to be the most humiliating and embarrassing thing that he's ever done. Like, this makes no sense. Yeezy, I cannot believe this. Anyways, I have to move on. Like, I'm in shock. Yeezy.com is done. How did you not build your own site? You could build your own platform. I even built my own platform. I did, and then I went over to Spotify. I was actually, I wouldn't say like one of the first on Spotify, but we were there with Spotify in the beginning. A lot of people don't know, Spotify is an Ontario company, by the way. That's literally an hour and a half away from Montreal. We used to be, my store, Exclusivity, used to be on Spotify's homepage. When you went there, you would see Exclusivity and they did pictures. They came and did a photo shoot at my Montreal store. That's how early I was with Spotify. But before that, before Spotify was around, like, you would build your own platform and own your own site. Of course, it's better to go on Spotify because now they're big. But anyways, woo, man. Anyways, let me move on. Crazy. Big L, Kanye. The biggest L ever. Big L. Our fourth quick story. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance surpasses 32 million views, the amount it took Usher 1 year to reach. All right. In true transparency, when I first saw this, I was like, ha ha ha, he didn't beat Usher. But then I literally had to go back and look and I'm like, am I seeing this correctly? So Kendrick Lamar in 1 day has 32 million views and Usher has 32 million in 11 months. But I was thinking it was the other way around. I thought Usher reached that in I remember if it was like 1 day or like 1 hour. Oh yeah, I thought it was 1 hour. I don't know why I missed the year. I don't know. But I am shocked by this. How could Usher's halftime performance be only 32 million? That's Usher. I am shocked by this. The only thing I could think of, and this is not hate, the only thing I could think of is because Kendrick Lamar's, two things. Kendrick Lamar's halftime show is very controversial. It has mixed reviews, like we told you yesterday. And I read, my gosh, hundreds of sites, not hundreds of sites, but a bunch that really didn't like it. They said it was the worst ever comments. I did everything. I did my due diligence. However, there's a lot of people that did like it. But I think when something is controversial, it makes you go back and be like, A, the people who didn't see it, like, what was it all about? That's one. And then two, because there were so many Easter eggs, it's people, let me watch it, let me see, let me try to figure it out, send it to this person, whatever. So I think because you have to rewind and catch it, and I understand even if you're at home rewatching something, it doesn't add in because I'm pretty sure the 32 million is unique viewers, but everybody trying to decode and understand it makes you want to go back and watch it. I really think, though, it's because it has mixed reviews. That's like Cardi B was saying, like, yeah, I don't mind you hating my song. Hate my song because the people that hate it tell the people how much they hate it. And they're like, oh, let me go listen to it. Yeah, I hate it. But that counts as one view, right? So people who didn't watch Super Bowl, all the controversy, because it's everywhere. It's the second day we're talking about it. It's still, I was actually planning to come on today's show and be like, okay, we're not talking about Kendrick and Drake anymore. I said it yesterday. So my social discussion was, can we give this up? Was that? No, social discussion was Diddy. But I did say it. I was like, yo, let's just give this up. Sorry, that's today's social discussion. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Anyways, yo, shout out to Kendrick, man. 32 million. Yo, shout out to Kendrick, man. I stay taking L's, man. Usher? You're beating Usher after 1 day? My guy, man? Usher? Oh, man. It's tough, man. It's a tough year, man. It's hard out here for us, man. Damn. Our fifth quick story. Oh, gosh, why did I put this back to back? Super Bowl 59 becomes the most watched game in history, with Kendrick Lamar's halftime show reportedly bringing in a record-breaking 133.5 million views. Oh my gosh, it doesn't end. According to reports, Super Bowl 59 has taken the top spot for the most watched Super Bowl in history. Additionally, Rock Nation reports that Kendrick Lamar's halftime show is now the most watched Super Bowl halftime performance of all time, breaking Michael Jackson's long-standing record of 133.4 million views. Okay, hold on. Let's be fair here. Michael Jackson was 133.4 and Kendrick was 133.5. Come on, man. You told me you guys just didn't like round that up by one more to say you broke Michael Jackson? Stop it. By the way, the headline says reportedly. Like, I feel like that needs to be fact-checked. And let's just be really fair, as much as, again, we're just joking with the Kendrick and Drake thing, but let's really be fair. Two things, even for the Super Bowl, why it was the most watched Super Bowl. Two things. One, everybody was tuning in to see if either KC would three-peat, which is something that's never been done in Super Bowl history. So, of course, people wanted to tune in. Mad people hated on KC and Patrick Mahomes with the whole ref thing, so they wanted to see that. And 3, everybody wanted to tune in to see if Kendrick Lamar was going to perform Not Like Us. Even Kendrick in his set teased, oh, am I going to do it? They want me to do it. I don't know if I should do it. You know, they like to sue. Everybody just wanted to see, is he going to do it or not? Which I already told you guys from last week that he was going to do it. It was confirmed. I don't know why you guys would think that he's not going to perform that song. He just won 5 Grammys for it. It's the biggest song in the world. How could you not perform that song, or at least some sort of variation? But I think that's why these records have been broken, is because it literally, it's like lightning striking, right? Like, the first three-peat in history, one of the most hated quarterbacks in history, one of the biggest rappers of all times that just won 5 Grammy Awards, going against, one of the most hated artists right now that everybody wants to see lose. Like, how could you not watch the halftime show and the Super Bowl? So I just think everything came together. But shout out to Kansas City and Philadelphia, and shout out to, not really Drake, but sir, you know what? Let's be fair. Shout out to Philly and shout out to Kendrick. Y'all, you took me. I got L's upon L's upon L's. Like, yo, my gosh. Yo, shout out to Kendrick though, man. I can't lie. Shout out to Kendrick. Our 6th quick story. 1.13 million views for Super Bowl in 2025 and 1.3 billion views for the World Cup in 2022. According to Nielsen, 1.1306 million people tuned in for the Super Bowl this year in 2025, while in the last World Cup finale, more than 1.3 billion people tuned in over its 90-minute time frame. So, a couple of things that I wanted to point out here. I didn't know. I said, I think it was last week, I was like, the Super Bowl is the most watched TV event in the world. I had no clue. I guess I'm not really big into soccer, but I had no clue that not only is the World Cup bigger, but it's like 10, 15 times bigger. Like that, I never knew that. I should have known though, because I was actually talking with somebody from England. I was like, yo, you guys watching the Super Bowl? And she was like, the Super Bowl? What's that? And I was like, how do you not know the Super Bowl? I'm like, everybody in London or what, you guys know what I'm talking? They're like, no, like, football, that's soccer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't even get me started with that. So that should have been my inkling, but I had no clue. Let me know in the comment section if you guys knew. That's probably my North American ignorance. I thought the Super Bowl was the most watched, so I stand corrected. Another L for me. Jeez, man, putting me in the same bucket as Kanye. Gosh, we just stay taking L's. The second thing is, I find it a little bit ironic that Jay-Z and whoever else said that it was 1.33 million. What was it? Yeah, 133.5 million. But this article, and it's the Nielsen, is saying 113 million, 113 million. So I find that a little bit weird. Our 7th quick story. Kanye West has been dropped by his talent agency. Yo, music agent Daniel McCarthy of 33 and West says he's no longer repping Kanye West following his latest offensive tweets. He put this in his, I don't know if it's Twitter or Instagram, but he says, effective immediately, I am no longer representing Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, due to his recent harmful and hateful remarks that myself nor 33 and West can stand for. Peace and love to all. Yo, like I told you guys, I don't understand what Kanye's doing. The one place that he was making money from is shut down. And now he has no agent. I don't understand what he's doing. I thought I understood what he was doing, and I was like, yeah, I take my hat off because at least it's independent. I take that back. Our 8th quick story. New photos of Blueface emerged from prison. New photos from rapper Blueface from behind bars in the California State Prison surface online. Yo, look at this picture of Blueface, y'all. What is he doing with all of those horrible tattoos all over his face? Now, Mike Tyson has a big tattoo on his face too, but it at least kind of looks aight. And Lil Wayne has face tattoos. I mean, listen, a lot of rappers have face tattoos, but these face tattoos look horrible. Like, what is he doing? Anyways, people are tearing him up online. And of course, Krishan Rock was like, yo, that's my baby daddy. That's my husband. Anyways, y'all know I like their ghetto trifling relationship. And I think they said he's actually going to be getting out, I think in July, but I do not know what he has done to his face. Yo, as much as people like hated on him, all the ladies were always like, yo, he's so cute. He's so good looking or whatever. Like, I don't know what he has done. People are saying that he was maybe like, how do I say this? Like, sometimes when you're in jail, things happen to you out of your control, and maybe this was a result. For those who that understand jail culture, know what I'm talking about. Our 9th quick story. Oh gosh, this is such a waste of time beef. Marlon Wayans and Soulja Boy are beefing. A lot of people have sent this to me. For those of you who don't know, Marlon Wayans was on a radio show and they asked him, what do you think about Nelly, Snoop, Soulja Boy, and Rick Ross performing for Donald Trump? And he said, yo, Soulja Boy, I can understand. You know, he hasn't had a hit since, oh my gosh, Superman. What's his song now? I even forget the name of the Soulja Boy song. Whatever. He hasn't had a hit in a long time. He needs the check. You know, anytime you say anything about Soulja Boy, he is literally going to just get online and drag you. So they've just been going back and forth. Marlon, you B-word. You're not funny. Be quiet. He said things like you haven't had a hit movie in the past 10 or 15 years. And then Marlon answered, he says the coon who jumped over the moon. Anyways, this is not a real beef, y'all. This is just Soulja Boy being Soulja Boy and Marlon being a comedian. You know what I mean? Like, you made a joke. Like, it's not really a big deal. Ugh, ridiculous. Our 10th quick story. Deiondra Sanders says Dej Loaf and Jacquees are in a fake relationship for sales. All right, I had to do a little research. I didn't even know what was going on with this story here. But this is Deion Sanders' daughter, for those of you who don't know. And she's engaged with Jacquees. I knew that. She is pregnant. I knew that. But I didn't know about everything that's going on with Dej Loaf. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name right. I think it's Dej Loaf. Anyways, so she tweeted this and says, people got to fake relationships to sell albums. Stop asking me why I'm not around. I'm not allowed to be around them because Dej would feel uncomfortable if his fiance was there. As I said before, y'all got it. Y'all won. Hope y'all little album sells the most y'all ever sold. All right. So there's like some spelling mistakes in there. We know. She's got dragged in the comment section for that. She's like, yo, you're too rich to not know how to spell properly, but I'm not a great speller either or reader. So I'm not going to drag her for that. Anyways, yeah. So I think also too, people's bigger issue with this is I'm not allowed to be around because Dej Loaf, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name right. Dej Loaf is not going to like me being around. Like, and apparently Dej Loaf is gay. So there's no issue between them, but why wouldn't you let your fiance who's pregnant be around? Like, what is the problem? And I guess she's saying like, hey, they want to promote that they're together, but they're not really promoting that they're together. And why are you saying allowed? Like, everything sounds mixed up. Like, something just doesn't sound right. If you are not interested in men and Jacquees has a fiance, who is believing that they are in a relationship? So why would Deiondra have to post and say, y'all are just pretending like you're in a relationship when nobody thinks that? And then say you're not allowed? Like, something is weird. If you guys know what's going on with this, in the comment section, give me some more context, but something is not adding up. Something doesn't make sense. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I care that much to get involved in it because like, I haven't called anybody to ask anybody anything about this. Y'all know I do not like getting into relationship stuff, but anybody out there knows, let me know in the comment section below. Our 11th quick story. The next stop, Onjiah Robinson is having a time in Dubai. The world tour continues. Onjiah Robinson left Pakistan and headed to Dubai. They treated her like a global celebrity in the streets. As we previously reported, Robinson became a viral sensation after her trip to Pakistan, where she was supposed to get married. And the And the man's family rejected her, and she went out in the streets and she wanted to change Pakistan. We played this for you guys. I think it was in Friday's show where she was demanding from the Pakistani government like $100,000, and she wants 20,000 this week, buses, and she wants to redo things. And now she's left. Like, I don't understand everyone's fascination with her personally. She's clearly like not 100% well. And I heard somebody, I think, post that somewhere on Twitter. It's like, she's clearly not well. Like, I understand you guys are entertained, but don't you think maybe somebody should try to help her? But anyways, we don't know exactly what she is, and that's just me from the mental health space thinking about it that way. But here's some videos that are going viral of Onjiah in Dubai. It is funny, I'll give you that. Like I said, she seems like she's having a good time, and she seems like herself, like she's cracking jokes and having time. So maybe she is okay. I don't know. I just find it weird. Like, nobody from her family, nobody, like her friends, like nobody has come out and said anything about her. Like, do we know? Like, we know I think she's from New York, if I'm not mistaken, but let's get some context on her. And like I said, again, is some of it funny? Yes, but where is it coming from? Is this who she is, or is there something else? And maybe she needs help, and maybe she needs meds or something. You know what I mean? So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our 12th quick story. Jalen Hurts' agent, Nicole Lynn, thanks God after the Eagles' Super Bowl victory. She says, this is grace, mercy, and favor. All right, so she took the Instagram. She just said, this has everything to do, all praise to God, credit to God, and all that. But I was not putting this in here for that. I was putting this in here for you guys to see that Jalen Hurts has a female agent, and apparently the agency is all women, and they're all in sports. What? Yo, I had no clue. Shout out to Jalen for that. Like, I was not going for Jalen. I was going for Kansas City. But, yo, this is amazing. I actually found this out. I had to fly quick to go to Toronto and have a meeting. And somebody told me this was a girl, a lady that told me this. And I was like, what? I normally would have heard about this. Y'all know I'm all for all women empowerment and all of that stuff. And I'm like, I had no clue. I love it even more. So shout out to Nicole Lynn. And what this girl in the meeting was telling me was that, by the way, this had nothing to do with the meeting. We were just talking about the game, talking about Kendrick, and it just so happened that I was like, who are you going for? She goes, I was going for Philadelphia because he's with an agency. I think she knows Nicole also too. But anyway, yeah, so she was breaking it down and explaining it to me that she negotiated one of the biggest deals for Jaden. So for Jalen Hurts. So anyways, shout out to Nicole Lynn. Shout out, and I feel like more men should give Nicole's agency a chance, man. They're doing really good things. I heard a lot more about it. So shout out to the person in Toronto. I don't want to say her name and expose her. But love this. Shout out to Jalen. Our 13th quick story. Jermaine Dupri says that he's happy that people are criticizing Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. Now, listen carefully to why he's happy, okay? Jermaine Dupri is pleased with the negative feedback that Kendrick Lamar is getting for his halftime show. He says that hip-hop should not be placed in one group, and he's happy that people are having a discussion. So a lot of people are just reading the headlines and it's being negative, but what he's saying is that there's so many elements to hip-hop, not to just think of hip hop as just one classification. There's a lot of subclasses where there is like backpack hip hop. There is mainstream hip hop, pop. You know what I'm saying? There's even like R&B hip hop. So like he's just saying like, I like the fact that we're able to have a discussion in the genre of hip hop, because under hip hop you have rap, you have hip hop, you have et cetera, et cetera. So that leads me back to like kind of like what I was saying in the beginning, where let's just take everyone's view. However, it's still under the classification of hip hop, and we can't just think that rap or hip hop is a monolith. Like, it's just not all one way. It's not all one sound. And that is what has made hip hop one of the biggest genres maybe ever in music history, if not definitely the leading genre today, right now. So these discussions are very, very important and need to be had. And I really don't like it being divisive, and it should be inclusive and hearing and listening to everyone's opinion. So shout out to Jermaine Dupri. Our 14th quick story. Justice Department moves to dismiss federal charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. All right, the Department of Justice, DOJ, has made a surprising move by ordering federal prosecutors to drop corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. The DOJ claims the case was interfering with Adams' efforts to support the president's crackdown on illegal immigration. The decision was outlined in a 2-page memo from the acting Deputy Attorney General. This is crazy work. Listen to this. According to the Associated Press, okay, the general attorney directive to dismiss the charges was not based on the strength of the case, but rather on the political consequences. The memo explicitly states that the timing of the prosecution is problematic, particularly given Adams' role in supporting the administration of the law and order initiatives. The DOJ suggested that continuing the case would disrupt Adams' ability to coordinate with federal agencies to address legal immigration and public safety concerns. What? He's basically saying, like, I don't care if you guys have a strong case or not. Donald Trump needs him to work on his immigration policy. So throw that out. That doesn't matter. We need him working for Trump. So throw that out. The DOJ says the pending prosecution has I just can't believe this, has restricted Mayor Adams' ability to devote his full attention and resources to the illegal immigration and everything else that's going on in New York. Adam traveled to Mar-a-Lago last month to meet with President Trump. The purpose of the meeting remains unclear, but critics speculate that it may have played a role in the DOJ's decision to drop the case. Additionally, the DOJ states that Adams' charges will be reviewed once a Trump appointee was confirmed by the U.S. Department. If the charges were not dropped, Adam was scheduled to stand trial April 2025. So the end there was like, listen, thanks for meeting with us. We want you to do this and this in New York for immigration. Cool. Okay, cool. We're wait till I appoint a new person for the district that's having you, that's doing your trial. Just wait and we'll talk about it then. Cool. There's a new person. Boom, it's thrown out. Now go handle the illegal immigration. That's crazy work. They literally said, this has nothing to do with your case. Trump. Wow. Now you guys believe me when I tell you that Diddy is calling Trump and being like, can you help me with my case? Do you believe me now? Like, crazy work. Crazy. Our 15th quick story. Luigi Mangione graciously accepts nearly $320,000 from fans for his legal defense fund in the United Healthcare CEO case. What? This guy comes from a family that's worth close to $100 million, and y'all are giving money to his GoFundMe fund for his defense? What? For unaliving somebody? Like, I get that y'all like him, and I get that you think that, like, he's some, like, folk hero and stuff, but what? Are you serious? Are you serious right now? He can get $1 from me. Our 16th quick story. President Donald Trump declines to endorse JD Vance as his 2028 successor. Doesn't view him as the Republican nominee. President Donald Trump, who is 78 years old, has declined to endorse his vice president, JD Vance, who's 40 years old, as his 2028 successor, claiming he doesn't view him as the next Republican nominee. He said, at least not yet. It's way too early to tell. JD Vance is the third youngest VP in U.S. history and was selected by Trump and his running mate in July 2024 after his first son, Donald Trump Jr., encouraged him to nominate the Ontario senator as VP. Okay, guys. Actually, I have a little clip. Take a listen.
Do you view Vice President JD Vance as your successor?
No.
Guys, don't you know how Donald Trump works already? Donald Trump is a master negotiator. You think that he's just going to not have JD work for his endorsement? How did you expect him to answer the question? Yeah, for sure, he's my successor. Do you know the leverage that Donald Trump gets by saying who his successor is going to be, who he's going to endorse? He is not going to do that until way after the end of his term. Well, actually, no, he has to do it because he'll do it probably. Hold on, let me think about something. So it's 2025. So the election will be November 2028. He will say who it's going to be in like early 2028, like January, February. He is going to make people run around for the next 3 years and do every single thing that he wants. And then the person who does everything that he wants and falls in line 100%, then he's going to be like, all right, okay, cool. That's why it's 2028 now, February, March. Hold on, wait, not yet. Actually, no, because there's going to be a primary. Nah, even February is too early. No, and plus he's still going to be president. He's going to need people to do. He will not endorse anybody till June, July, like right before the RNC convention. That's my prediction. Let me know what you guys think. Our 17th quick story. Chris Brown Super Bowl 2026. Don't worry, this is not an announcement. Fans demand that Chris Brown hits the halftime show next year. Fans are continuing to give Kendrick Lamar his well-deserved flowers, while many have already said they're looking forward to the next Super Bowl. And let's just say there is one person that everybody has on their mind. Social media has been flooded with requests for R&B superstar Chris Brown to take the stage for the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. Now, listen, I already told you guys how much I love R&B, and I am a pretty big Chris Brown fan. Not crazy. Like I said, I'm more the old, I wouldn't say old school. Is 90s old school R&B? I wouldn't know what that's because old school is like Temptations and stuff. But anyway, whatever. Anyways, big fan of Chris Brown. Yes. However, trust me. Chris Brown ain't going to be there for 2026. We got to work to get Chris back to the award shows. Are you nuts? Chris Brown was in South Africa and he had women organizations protesting, signing things to try to ban him. Could you imagine if Jay-Z brought him to Super Bowl? Second of all, Jay-Z would never do that because Rihanna not is anymore, but was Jay-Z's artist. So Jay-Z has been trying, they say, don't send me no letters, Rock Nation. They say allegedly that Jay-Z has been the one that's been blocking Chris Brown all this time as his defending in the name of defending Rihanna. So trust me, that's definitely not going to happen if Jay-Z has anything to do with it. And yeah, just the backlash. Are you crazy? The NFL would never do any such thing. We got to work on getting Chris Brown back to award show. You know what I'm saying? Has he even performed at BET lately? Or since anything that happened? Let's get him back to BET. Then let's try to get him to Billboard or the American Music Awards, then to the Grammys. Then in the next couple of years, maybe if Jay gets let go, then we could try to get him to Super Bowl. But I would love this. That's, again, not to get back to this. Well, we're going to talk about it a little bit because we're talking about it in social discussion. But coming from the type of performance I like a performance where there's the dancing and the showcasing and the everything that all encompasses what I feel like should happen on the Super Bowl stage. I think Chris Brown would be amazing. I think he would be up there one of the best, like Usher, right? So Usher is more my kind of artist, my guy, Anyways, let me know if you guys want Chris Brown or some of you still have hate in your heart for Chris Breezy. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. Drake said this on his Australian tour. He said, "Beef is live. Spoiler alert, I never was unalived." Drake, please. I wanted to bring this to social discussion so that we could all get together and collectively ask both Kendrick Lamar and Drake to finally end this. Please. What do you guys think about it? Even the people who love to ish on Drake, are you tired of it? Aren't you tired of this following Kendrick Lamar? I feel like if you were a real Kendrick fan, you would be tired of the Not Like Us and people attaching Drake to Kendrick. Drake to Kendrick. Yeah. Like he's a Pulitzer Prize winner and a prolific artist. There's so many people who only know about Kendrick Lamar and this one song. Like even his Grammys, don't get it twisted. Yes, he won 5 Grammys, but it was all for that one song. He didn't win a Grammy for GNX. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, the people who are not of our culture, who are now learning about him, only know about as this song. And that is one of the issues that I had is I felt like he should have taken the moment to deliver and promote himself more as an artist for himself and also for the community and the message and all that stuff. But anyways, the discussion is, do you guys agree with me? Drake, please, please, please let the beef end, bro. What you're warming up to in Australia, it's not live. I already dragged him last week when he's coming out with this sweater with this theme coming out with the holes all over it. Bro, you have an album with Party Next Door coming out for Valentine's Day. Just get back to doing what you're doing. I want both artists to get back to their hits. Kendrick, make your hits, do your thing. Drake, get back to your number one albums, your number one hits, giving us music to dance to vibe to. Like, I miss this, man. Like, I warned Drake, don't do what Ja Rule did, man. 50 and Ja Rule went head to head, and then and then Ja started coming out with darker, aggressive music. That's not who we know Ja Rule for. Ja Rule was known for having duets with Ashanti, J Lo. You know what I mean? Like that singing on the hook, the melodies. Don't let it. Oh, we like Drake with the melodies. Don't let that get to you. That's cool. You've even said that. Like, don't put you in a box of just being a rapper. You're a global, iconic superstar that could jump around from different genres of music. So you do reggaeton, you do reggae, you do R&B, you do hip hop. Leave this alone, Drake. Please, OVO teams, send this to Drizzy. Get this to him. And I know some of you already have. Trust me, just let it go. If anything, we're all exhausted from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's exhausting. Anyways, let me know what you think. Hopefully, this could be the end. Tomorrow, I don't want to be talking about this. And if we are continuing talking about it, I want it to be fun. I just felt like it's gotten like heavy. I'm all for the fun. I'm all for the lightheartedness, but I really hope Drake doesn't take it to a dark, grimy, gringy place. Like you're still Drake at the end of the day, bro. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day, my favorite segment. What's the most unnecessary thing that you've ever splurged on? All right, somebody said, they put the ninja emoji. Hilarious. Anything I ordered from Amazon. What? An education in the field I was not interested in anymore. Oh, I feel bad for the people that spend all that money on an education or a degree and they don't do anything in that area anymore. But I don't think you're necessarily paying to learn only that industry. You're paying also too for the discipline, and you're learning and you're growing. And I think that's what, when you go to get a job and you're like, I have a master's degree or a PhD, and it might not still be in that subject, but it shows the type of person you are to be able to get a PhD. So I always tell people that anytime I'm at talks or whatever. Somebody else said an education. Somebody said my husband. It was funny. Another person said college degree. See, a lot of people regret spending money, man. It's not at all, guys. Buying a house is too much responsibility. What? But it's an investment, man. Y'all know I'm big in investment. Okay, somebody else said a wedding dress. I don't know about that. Never been married, but I do know that it's definitely not cheap. Somebody said a 3-story house for just me. I don't think anything is wrong with that, man. I have a huge house too. I got 6 bathrooms on one person. I tell people like, I could use the toilet. I could use a different toilet in my house every day of the week, except for Sunday. That's big, yo. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's an investment. So good on you. You can never go wrong with real estate. Ever, ever, ever. What else? Having to pay. Okay, no. Say that. Splurge. He said, if I splurge, yeah, I like this. If I splurge, it's necessary. Yes. I worked hard, man. I came from nothing. I made something. I'm going to splurge. You got to splurge. However, splurge on things that are an investment. I have cars that never depreciate in value and increase in value over time. My home, my father all the time is like, oh, he drags me. He's like, oh, you have a big house, this, whatever, blah, blah. Yeah, it's increased in value like a lot since I bought it. And I just like to have parties. I like to have a lot of people over here. But splurge, because you deserve it, especially if you worked hard for it. If you inherited it, that's a different story. But if you work hard for it, I believe you should splurge. However, the key to splurging is splurge on things that have an investment. There's jewelry that has investment. There's things that you could do that's an investment. That's the key to splurging. What else? Things on other folks. Well, sometimes you got to give back to other people. But yes, I get it. You got to be smart. Your ex, that's hard. Somebody said Space Jam 11s back in 2009. Yo, Space Jams weren't even that expensive because now they're what, 300? But I think back then when they first came out, they were like 150. Somebody said everything. Somebody said, oh, my past. Plates. I used to splurge on plates. Somebody said Ivory Park and food. That's Beyonce's line. That never went well when it was with Adidas. Somebody said my first class seat. Yo, I don't understand people that spend money on first class. I don't get it. I've flown on first class anytime it's a business and I am not paying for it. And also too, I went to China once on first class because I think my sister got something. I went with my sister and she got something and there's some sort of bump up that we got for free and it's dope. But I don't care how rich I am. I'm not spending friggin' $10,000 or $15,000 on first class. No, I would rather spend an economy class and donate that money. Where it's the same flight. You tell me you want me to spend $10,000 or $15,000 more, so I have that much more leg room, so I can get free champagne when I sit down, and so I can have a different menu. And no matter what's on the menu, it's still airplane food. Like, no. And I used to take long flights too. I used to fly to South Africa. It's 24 hours. I refuse. No, I'd rather donate the money. If you have the money, go and coach and donate it. Sorry, I don't believe in that. Unless you have your own plane. If you have your own private jet, that's one thing. I get that. And it's not for the space, but it's for the convenience that you could fly at your own time. But what? 20 G's? You have the same, you have to go through the same, and a private jet too, you get to go at like, anytime you want, but then you go through like a different custom area. It's a different airport. You want me to spend 20 G's to go through the same TSA line, the same this, the same everything to get champagne? Y'all put me in economy and let me buy all my drinks here. No. Somebody said I spent too much money on a grateful woman. That's always going to hurt. Somebody said a woman. Okay, I can't say that. Somebody said a Louis bag, never again. See, a Louis bag, if you buy the right Louis bag, it's an investment. Or if you buy or the Hermes bag there. Oh gosh, what's the talk about it all the time. Walmart just did a fake one about it. The Hermes. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about. Cardi B talks about them all the time. Anyways, whatever. Somebody said a lawnmower. All right, I think we've had enough here. Somebody said sneakers. I feel you. All right, taxes, a puppy. Oh, you can never spend too much on a puppy. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Yes, it's still bothering me, the name. I'm gonna Google it before sports news so I can tell you guys. All right, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Whatever you splurged on that you have regretted, I have never regretted anything I splurged on because I'm very intentional with my money. A Birkin bag. That's what I was talking about. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, somebody interviewed KD and asked him what he thought about Kendrick Lamar, and this is what he said.
What would you take seeing the halftime show yesterday with Kendrick doing Not Like Us?
It meant nothing to me.
KD was not a fan of the Super Bowl or not a fan of the halftime show. Listen, y'all, I wanted to throw this in here to show that not everybody is against Drake and, KD and Drake are boys. He actually executive produced one of his last albums. So I like that KD took an opportunity to ride for Drake. But don't drag him. He has a right to his own opinion, and he has a right to defend his boy. Somebody also asked Sexy Red, and she's like, oh, I have no answer. I didn't watch it. So not everybody has turned on Drizzy. All right, you guys, thank you so much for kicking it with me on this Hump Day show. I will definitely see y'all tomorrow, Thursday. Before I let you guys go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are used to watching this episode, are used to watching this show on YouTube, and you can always catch us on YouTube if you're in the car or if you're going on a plane and you need to catch us on podcast. We are available on all podcast platforms. You need to download us. We got you. Just go to your desired site, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Do not forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And we upload daily, just like on YouTube. Now, vice versa, for the people who are used to listening to the show on podcast platforms, please try to come over to YouTube when you're at home or when you're at the gym or whatever and check us out on YouTube. It is so much better to watch us live and direct. I play videos, I show you guys pictures, and if you think I'm animated and fun on audio, wait till you see me live and direct on your screen. It's a good time over here. And more importantly, we have a really good community over here in the comment section. Yes, even the ones who drag me for riding for Drake and not liking Kendrick Lamar's performance. Yes, we have a good community here, and that's what I love. I love that people comment and say what they want. Feel free to say that, and they give me the opportunity to say it back to them. So come over here, check us out on YouTube. When you're over here, just type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and also, of course, don't forget to comment. And because I look at all the comments in my bed at night. And please do not forget to share. It definitely helps in growing the show. For those of you who want to follow me on social media, I'm available on all platforms, and it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.